In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how a 3D printer has changed the way that I work in this garage for the better. I'm going to show you how it's changed the way that I work on my projects. I'm going to show you how it's changed my organization, and I'm going to show you how it's helped me make some car parts for my vehicles. So let's go ahead, let's jump into it. Let's talk a little bit about how 3D printing works. To make a model that you want to print out, you need CAD software or you need access to the internet, because on the internet there's a vast amount of models that you can download and probably someone's built something that you're looking for. If you decide to go the CAD software route, I prefer to use SolidWorks or Fusion 360. SolidWorks has a hobbyist license that you can get for $40 a year. Fusion 360, you can get a hobbyist license for free. Now, for myself, I've been using SolidWorks in the past. I've recently transitioned over to Fusion 360. Now, for both of these software packages, there's a lot of great tutorials that you can see on YouTube that'll teach you exactly how to build what you want. And that's one of the things I'm going through with Fusion 360 right now, is just running through a lot of different tutorials to come up to speed on where everything's located. It's a little bit different than SolidWorks, but I'm picking it up pretty easily. Now, after you have the model you built, you export it as a step file into Bambu's software. From that software will generate the code and it'll slice up the CAD so that it can actually build it using the 3D printer. And from that software will send it to the 3D printer where it prints. Now, for the printer that I purchased, it's the Bambu Lab X1C. It has an AMS on top, which is an automated material system that can hold up to 4 different materials or filaments, and it can dispense it as it's needed. This allows you to do multi-color prints all within the same machine without having to swap things over manually. From that filament, it'll go from the AMS up top, it'll go into the machine, it'll go into the extruder. From there, there's going to be a hot end that's somewhere between 200 and 250 C, depending on the material that you're using. And then it'll dispense it onto that hot bed or that hot plate on the bottom at the right X, Y, and Z locations. Now, this here is a time lapse that the machine automatically takes of me building a part and building it all the way from the beginning to the end. Now, keep in mind, this is sped up significantly faster. A print usually takes somewhere between 30 minutes to 24 hours, depending on how complex it is. Now, as you get further into 3D printing, you can do more advanced things like embedding nuts into parts. You can put material into the interior so that it adds extra weight if you need to. You can use heat set inserts like I did on the gauge mounts that I've made. So there's a lot of different options, and you can take it as far as your imagination wants. Now, for materials, there's a lot of different materials you can print in. I've started experimenting with PLA, ABS, ASA, and PETG. Now, these materials, PLA, I'm using for kind of more garage organizational items. ABS I'm doing for things that need more strength, that need some UV resistance as well. ASA, kind of the same thing. And then PETG I've been using a little bit here and there, but it's another strong material. And I recently got some translucent material that I'm experimenting with, trying to see how I can make something a little bit more clear rather than being completely opaque. Now, for the 3D printers, you can get them for under $1,000 now. The one I have is slightly more, but you can do a lot with them, which is exciting. Now, for the filament that I purchased, it's around $20 per kilogram. And within the software, it'll actually tell you how much each part costs to make. So you can see this part costs 30 cents, this part costs $1, this part costs $3. It'll tell you in there so you can get a full breakdown of how much this actually costs you to build and print. We're going to talk about 3 different ways I'm using this. 1, we'll talk about how I'm using the 3D printer to organize the garage better. 2, we'll talk about how I'm using the 3D printer to print test parts so that I can make sure everything fits before I go ahead and get the actual part made out of metal. And then 3, we'll talk about how I'm building parts for my cars using a 3D printer, which is really exciting. And it's something that a few years ago, you might not be able to say you can do. So let's go ahead and let's start talking about garage organization. Now, organization, the main thing we're going to talk about is Gridfinity. So Gridfinity is a project that was created by Zach Friedman, who has a YouTube video on it, which I will link down below. It is a free modular organization system for your garage, for your toolboxes, or your workshop. Now, let me show you a little bit about what Gridfinity is and how I'm using it. So Gridfinity is a pattern that's used in the bottom of these drawers here. There are actually printouts that look, I'll pull one out right here, just like this, that you put in the bottom of your workshop drawer, and you use that to put some bins on top or some custom parts. And each one of those custom parts self-locate itself within this grid, and it helps keep things organized. Let's take a look at what I've done so far. Now, one of the first drawers I'm going after is my socket drawer, so a way to better organize this. I've always had these here that do a good job at organizing things, but I really wanted to change it and get something a little bit more organized. Now, a good view of how this works is on the bottom of one of these, you'll see that there are 4 squares. So each one of these squares is going to go in this pattern, so you can lock it in anywhere you want, and the weight of it just keeps it in place. Now, see these down here? Each one of these are custom made for my Tecton set, so I made them myself. Now, these I've made myself. These 2 I've made myself. This one right here, that's for the torque wrench, I did not make myself. I found online. So you can use this for organization of all your different tools. Well, there's actually a bunch more that I want to do in here for custom parts and for tool storage, but this is one way that I'm helping getting myself a lot more organized. I'm going to go ahead and make custom brackets to hold both of my torque wrenches here. So I do have the 3/8 one done. I'm going to need to do the 1/4 inch, the 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to spend some time organizing more of the sockets and the specialty sockets that I have. I have a lot of them that are sitting around, but I need to find a good way to organize them in here. Another drawer that I've been working on is my measurements drawer. So in my measurements drawer, I've been storing measurement stuff as well as the batteries back there. Some of the stuff is custom made, some of the stuff I downloaded offline. So like the calipers here, I ended up downloading it offline, but all these parts, this here that's holding my thickness gauge, all these are custom that I've made for myself to keep things organized. Now my goal here is just to get everything organized in this toolbox. Now I'll show you quickly how to take this strut spreader and make a quick bin for it. Now to do this relatively simply, I'm just going to place it straight up like this in the bin. So it's going to be a 1x1 square around it. And to see it, and to figure out what size I'm going to need, I'm just going to take a measurement here. So it says 0.9365. So I need to decide how much clearance that I wanted. I'll typically do 5 thousandths on the diameter. So it'll be 9865. And then we'll go ahead and I'll show you the CAD right here, how I'm quickly doing it, sped up. And then we're going to go ahead, quickly print it, and then drop it into the bin. Gridfinity actually has an add-in into Fusion 360 where I can go inside it, add a bin, drop it in. I can choose if it's going to be hollow as a bin or if it's going to be solid. I'm going to pick solid here and then cut out the size that I want, make and cut into it, and then I'm going to go ahead, print it out. After it's printed out, you can see here how it fits in nice and easily. So you can see there, I'm starting to work through Gridfinity inside this toolbox. If you guys want me to do a full video on it after I'm complete, let me know down in the comments and I will do that, because I do want to spend a lot more time getting things organized in here, because as things get organized, the less time I spend looking for things, and that's a huge benefit for me. Now, the nice thing about Gridfinity is you can access a lot of these models online, so you don't actually need to make them yourself. If you want to make them yourself, you can. Anything I do make in Gridfinity, I'm going to go ahead and upload it so that it's free for anyone in the community to use. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, go ahead and check it out. But I'm doing the specific parts for this. Now, let's go ahead and look at some other things that I've built in the garage that have helped with organization. Now, this hasn't specifically helped with organization, but what you can see here is the way that I've been tossing out my used blades and used knives that I've been using. You know, it's a simple container that has all my X-Acto blades in it, all the blades that I break off, and when I'm done with it, I can just throw it out. And then you can see I have a few different miscellaneous bins back there that I also printed out that I've been using for storage, but I just threw a lot of that stuff out. All right, now one of the other ways that you can use a 3D printer is to print custom test fit parts. Now, I've been wanting to do coilovers on this car for a little while now. I've actually purchased the coilovers. They're sitting over there. I've had them since fall. Now, I haven't got them in the car yet because I need to make a custom strut tower bracket that goes on top of the strut tower. After I put in the TCP strut tower bar, the one that goes from the firewall to each one of the strut towers, there's a plate on there that's too thick, and because that's too thick, the top piece of the QA1 mount won't fit. Now, to fix this, instead of just going ahead and guessing what thickness is going to work, I went ahead and I printed out a bunch of these little plates of different thicknesses that I can try out to see to make sure that I get enough clearance under this hood so that I don't dent the hood when I shut it. So each one of these, you can see I created a custom thickness for. There's a few different revisions, and you can see I actually put the revision numbers into them so I can track them just by looking at them. And one of the other things you'll notice is I actually cut off one of the ears on this because I don't plan on using the TCP Monte Carlo bar. I already have one, and maybe I'm going to be switching up to another one this spring. So with that, I can create my own custom parts. I can go ahead and put them in place, test fit everything, make sure it works before I go ahead and send my parts out to be made. And that way I save a lot of money, because printing like this is significantly cheaper than making a bunch of metal parts, having them not fit and having to wait for them to come back and forth. Plus, something like this probably takes me like 20 to 30 minutes to print out, compared to a metal part, which it would take me a few hours if I were to try to machine it myself or to build a plate myself. Now, the last way that I've been using the 3D printer in the garage is to make custom car parts. Now, I've been using it to make some custom gauge mounts for my 1969 Mustang. I've used it to make custom gauge mounts for an F100, for a Mercury Cougar, and what it allows you to do is actually create parts with it. Now, because technology has changed so much in the past few years with these 3D printers, you can now print ABS, you can print ASA, so you can print a lot of the materials that are in cars today. Now, they're starting to get a little bit more exotic, where you can get some carbon fiber infused ABS or carbon fiber infused materials. They're not going to be as strong as typical carbon fiber, because it is putting it down piece by piece, strand by strand, so they're not going to be long strands, but it does help some with the strength of the materials. Now, these custom gauge mounts I do have available on my website if you want to check them out. So I've made a lot of these. They've actually been selling pretty well, and my plan is to have a few custom parts for my F-150 on my site as well. So those projects are coming up. I have a few ideas of mine. I just haven't spent the time to do it yet, because it's been winter, it's been snowy, and it's been nice to be in a warm garage for a little bit. Now, I'm really happy that I purchased this 3D printer for the garage. It's really changed the way that I work in this garage and all the work that I do. From organizing my tools better, to creating test fit parts before I actually have it demanufactured, to just creating custom parts for the cars themselves. It's really changed my entire workflow in this garage. If you're someone that has access to CAD or really likes tinkering with things, I really think a product like this is for you. There's a lot of good options out there. I have the X1 Carbon. There's a lot of cheaper models out there for people that are just getting started in 3D printing, or people want to just dabble in it. But for myself, I'm really happy that I purchased it. It really has changed the way that I work in the garage. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, as more videos will be coming out like this in the future. Thanks for tuning in this week on Smackey's Garage. I'll see you next time.